Good morning, everyone in Planet 417. Thanks for joining us again this Monday morning for Roy Rickstrew, the disability guru. We're going to talk about Big Brother today, right after this.
I want to be your disability rep.
And we're back. We're back. So, Big Brother, we're always worried about government looking in on us, but you know something maybe I didn't know.
Yeah, Social Security has the ability to peek in on our lives and kind of see what's going on.
Like all of us? Like any of us?
Yeah, recipients.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Only if you're getting Social Security.
Yeah, that's all we'll be able to talk about today. That's not to say Big Brother can't look in on any of us anyway.
What they're doing and what they're legally doing are two different things sometimes.
But yeah, Social Security has the ability to make a referral if they receive a fraud complaint or a potential fraud complaint from somebody. Your neighbor turns you in and says, look, that guy's filing for disability, but I saw him pulling engines out of cars last weekend.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Social Security has the ability to send you over to the office of the Inspector General, and they will do an investigation.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen 3 of these in my clients in the years that I've done this, and they're very in-depth.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know, on the flip side, that seems legit. I mean, we don't want people fraudulently obtaining disability payments.
Yeah, and the ones that I had seen, you know, they were a 2-3 day investigation. They followed people around.
Yep.
Watched them go to town.
Surreptitiously.
Made,
right? You didn't know they were following.
Yeah, correct. Made comments, you know, about how they got out of the car and how they walked in and they stood against the Dollar General building and smoked cigarettes and, you know, pretty detailed stuff. At the end of that, they actually come and talk to the person, which I'm sure is quite the surprise.
Yeah, I'll bet it is.
But the other part of that is that they dig into our socials.
And there you go.
This is why, you know, I preach to people all the time. It's fine to post pictures on Facebook of you doing physically active things. Just make sure that in the caption you say, this was our trip from 3 years ago.
Yeah, right. Yeah, this wasn't yesterday that I was out there windsurfing.
Right.
Yeah, not that I would ever windsurf.
Now,
in the cards.
My one gal was working moonlighting as a bail bondsman, and she tackled a gal to the ground, held her down, and ended up in the emergency room for having bite marks on her chest.
Yep.
As a result of that, and the OIG investigation found that.
Yeah.
I got the police report, had some comments about the initial, at least officers' observations about the bite marks, and you know, obviously it was hurtful for her back condition, disability, to be wrestling around on the floor with an absconder.
Yeah, so to start the beginning, so she was on disability for a back injury.
She was filing for disability for a back injury, yeah.
And concurrently wrestling absconders to the ground.
That's correct,
Yeah, it seems a little inconsistent.
Yeah, and if you ever get one of these, you can fight them. I mean,
Sure.
they're, you know, you get, sometimes you get a copy of them. They're part of your hearing file for sure, and you can put in thoughts or observations or what have you. My other gal, they had pictures of her on her socials. She was in Chimney Tops in Tennessee, I think. It was a mountain out there.
Yeah.
And there's pictures of her in that park. And they had highlighted those as part of their investigation to say, look, you know, this gal's not as bad off as we think. She's out hiking in the Smoky Mountains.
Yeah.
And, of course, you know, the response to that is that Chimney Tops is handicapped accessible. You can drive to the top of it. It's been handicapped accessible since the 60s. The fact that there's a picture of her on top of Chimney Tops doesn't mean she climbed it.
Right.
It may mean that she drove up there.
Now,
and sometimes you can kind of fight those things off.
Now, in the hearing process, though, there's not like an opposing counsel sitting in the room.
Oh, no.
Presenting, it's in the file for the judge. So this is really the hearing officer, the judge, looking at the file and going, well, what about this?
Yeah, it comes in and, you know, it becomes part of the evidence file overall, and it's there. It's something you have to work around if you ever have one of these. And I'll tell you, it's not easy to work around a lot of these things. You know, they're pretty detailed. It's the Office of the Inspector General, so it's not, some fly-by-night private investigation firm. There's a lot of credibility, I think, or deference that's given to those reports.
So this isn't going to happen to everyone who files for disability. They don't do an investigation on everyone that files. This is so in this particular case, for example, this would have been one where someone knew she was filing for disability and someone made a complaint.
One of the people that was in her bail bondsman group, someone that she had went and got.
So
they turned her in.
It does require some sort of impetus in order to get that OIG investigation started.
That's correct. The third one that I had, they produced pictures, a video online of my my older client dancing at a gender reveal party.
Oh, okay.
And that was one of the things they said, look, this is inconsistent with her comments that she can only walk a few feet without the need of a cane or without the need for rest. And of course, I found the video and watched it, and she was dancing. I mean, most definitely, she was pretty excited.
Yeah.
But it just kind of cuts that narrative. And with Social Security, much like any legal action, when you lose your credibility, things go downhill pretty quick.
Real fast. Real fast. Hey, if you got questions about this, you can contact Roy. His number's on the screen, 417-812-6698. Any parting thoughts?
No, I'll be in the office 3 days this week. The office will be closed on Friday, but it's a quiet week, so jump on the phones, give me a ring.
All right. We'll look forward to seeing you next week.
I want to be your disability rep.